So Thursday, Hovind continued his little Emma Thorne ramblings, and I figured we might as well take a look at it. I've been kind of skimping on doing some of the ancillary videos between Hovind's Sunday streams and his Whackin' Atheist crap. I'm trying to get a little bit back to normal here, where we do more deep dives into the continuing pattern of streams that he does, because there's always something interesting somewhere. Well, there's always the potential for something interesting to be somewhere. But let me fire this up and let's get right to it.
Well, good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. It is October 23rd, 2025. Tonight, open mic. Call in if you have any questions. If you'd like to defend your dumb religion of evolution, please try it, okay?
Just a reminder that this is how this guy presents himself, as a rule, all the time, and people think that he's, a decent person. Just from the get-go, there's already a base level of, stage 1 rudeness. I don't know what the maximum is. Let's say a scale of 1 out of 5. He starts at a 1 and then just moves on up. But that's what the good pastor does, or the good preacher, the good whatever the hell title he is. And Dr. Ken Hovind, all he does is speak the truth, about where they would bake them and other garbage.
We think it's the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. Nothing but a religion. And you're welcome to it. But quit calling it science. Okay, prove me wrong. Let's see, we're on Facebook. It keeps growing. There we go. Rumble. Twitter.
You've been proven wrong 1,000,001 times. Every day you're proven wrong by anyone who at all remotely acknowledges your existence and decides to respond to the idiocy you say. But keep it up, Kent. You provide lots of laughs.
Twitter or X, our own app, KenHovind.tv, Instagram, TikTok. Sign up for all of them in case they take us off of one. They always do that, okay? Let's see.
They always take us off of one. Still has every other platform beyond their original YouTube channels. Again, the conspiracy with the mysterious they, just taking them down from stuff. Yet somehow it's all random. If they were so after you, Kent, you would be unable to say or do anything online. It would instantly be shut down. And this is, again, Schrodinger's they, I like to call it. This idea that an omnipresent power control, human power controls everything that goes on, is censoring this, that, and the other. Yet simultaneously, all this stuff is out there. All this information is just there and nothing happens with it. And just occasionally something gets taken down or removed. It reminds me of right when COVID started, some weirdo called needing repair work on some, like their grandkids' game console or something at the job I worked at the time. And at the tail end was like, hey, have you made sure to watch Plandemic before they take it down again? And it's like, if it was restricted content, you wouldn't be able to put it up at all. It would automatically be detected and be like, nope, this is not going to happen whatsoever. And it would just disappear. So obviously this they speak of is either beyond incompetent to a point where they couldn't control anything, or they simply don't exist. It's ridiculous to hear this crap, and I grow really tired of it with these conspiratards, but what do you expect from these kinds of idiots?
All right, here. Tonight, open mic, 23rd. Next Friday night will be Harvest Festival here at DAL. If you want to come play some games, try to break some records.
No.
All kinds of fun stuff to do going on around here. Get the all-time record for whatever, all the different things we have here. Let's see, then November, we have a Veterans Day coming up, the 11th, and Thanksgiving. Come join us. If you don't have any family, we'll be your family. Come on down. If you're anybody coming from Maple Park, which is near Chicago, coming this way, even partway this way, and can bring the giant tortoise. Got another tortoise going to be donated. Name is Tommy, I think. Or Thomas, yeah, Thomas the tortoise. You want to bring a partway down? Anything will help, okay? There's right by DeKalb and Aurora right in there. The guy stopped today and gave us donated 2 big rocks found in Oklahoma called turtle stones. I brought the small one in. Yeah. Turtle stones. Apparently, as mud dries out, it cracks into this pattern, and they
Look, even Kent doesn't give a shit, but he has to brag about it because, look, people gave us stuff. People do things to support me, therefore I'm right.
Make it look like a turtle. We put it in Turbo, our tortoise, put it in his pen. He must be nearsighted or desperate because he instantly fell in love with it. Anyway, a disaster struck. Our train the Craftsman, let's see, our 200-year-old Craftsman riding lawnmower that pulls our train died and went to heaven. There it is, right there. We're going to lay hands on it. Mechanic said if we put 4,000 into it, it'd be worth 20 bucks. You ever done that to a car, Joseph? Just keep.
Joseph, you're the only one I can talk to. You're the only person who hasn't been completely alienated from me. I got to ask you questions, and you must agree or else, Joseph. Huh, Joseph?
Anyway, we're looking for a riding lawnmower. We don't need it to mow grass. We just need it to pull the train. So if you got one, let me know. Okay. Anybody coming this way from Dallas, please call me. A friend of mine has a huge garage full of stuff. He's cleans swimming pools for millionaires, and they're always donating things for our camp. But they're in Dallas. We need to get.
Kent, you make fuck tons in donations, supposedly. It's convenient you don't get anything when you need people to give money, but the Lord always provides when you also when you need money. So you always seem to be able to afford all this random shit. How about you invest in just hiring someone to fucking move it instead of begging all the time? Oh wait, I forgot. For con artist, narcissist grifters such as yourself and some other people I know, actually doing real work like that, actually just making it your own responsibility to get these things you want is way too difficult. It's better to have other people give up their time and money to get these already donated resources to you. That's how that works.
Him here. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff. You never know. Chainsaw, lawnmower, stuff. Not a riding lawnmower. Okay. We need to start filling the ark with pink and blue stuffed animals. If they're not pink and blue, we'll make them pink and blue. But we need a pair of giraffes, a pair of.
How about you just leave them as they are, Kent? They don't all need to be pink and blue, all right? Also, the gender colors swapped about a century and some change ago. I mean, hell, fucking like there's pictures of like what Winston Churchill wearing a dress as a kid, like that, like not like a joke thing, like that. Seriously, the what we think of now in gendered concepts of clothing and such were what would in the past what we would find as very odd. One might even use the original meaning of the word queer, ironically. This obsession with the pink and the blue ones is really ridiculous, but oh wait, I forgot. He targets children, probably in more ways than one, based on his friends. And so, yeah, it would make sense to have the pink and the blue. So they can say, see, this one's pink and this one's blue. That's the boy and that's the girl. It's like, Kent, they're stuffed fucking animals. They're plushies. Stuffed animals, really a stupid term, and implies the animal itself has actually been stuffed, whereas this is just an artistic recreation thereof. It's goddamn plushies, Kent. They don't have genders. They don't have dicks. They're not alive. Come the fuck on, bruh. Do you not understand that? I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't.
Hippopotamus, a pair of, lions, just a pair of stuffed animals to put in our ark. A rhinoceros. So if you want to get some of those and send them to us, please do. Send them.
Viking Dad 524 pops in. Huge fan of your stuff. Also, I love watching you make fun of him. Well, thanks. Glad to see you. Kent is allergic to work as he's allergic to actually learning real facts. Bingo! Bingo! Marty, I'm trying to squeeze in as much as I can, and I slept half the morning. Apparently, I was beyond exhausted.
The money to buy them. Yep.
Some animals need 7 of.
What now?
Some animals will need 7 of.
Some of them will need 7 of. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
That is a good point. And I'm glad Joseph brought that up. You are correct. Some you would need 7 of.
Donate your pair of animals, and we'll get your name or your business in on their room where they live. Okay, in the ark. Already got a couple dinosaurs.
Bruh, man, they actually got dinosaurs. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like where that's going. All jokes aside, it's so ridiculous. I kind of love it. Man, I should donate something. Get them to put Zadar Entertainment on there, not realizing what supported them. That'd be great. It's like, no. I mean, in this case, if you want, to do your animal thing, here you go. Here's to Echidna plushies. Make it work.
On Noah's Ark. And yes, Noah had dinosaurs on the ark. Okay. Let's see. The ark is coming along great. There it is now. Cool, brother. This is coming. I can't wait to get it done. We've already taken tours in there a little bit, but I got all kinds of cool stuff planned for that. If you want
Does anyone recall how long they've been working on the thing? Because I feel like it's been a solid year at this rate. Because I swear, this time last year, because I've had the black cats for about a year. It was like October, definitely, that we had them because, as in, we rescued them. Because I remember thinking about, ooh, black cats kept off the street during Halloween, where some crazy fucker would do something to them. I feel like they were working on it back then too, so it has been a long time working on that thing.
to help us stay open for free, join our 777 club. Okay, you can go to drdino.com right there. All right, going to be a member. I don't check up on them. I don't know who gives. I don't want to know.
Say it with me, everyone. Translation: Hovind monitors that thing and is hitting F5 every 5 seconds to see if anyone else joins. We got a new member, Joseph. Quickly, bill him.
If you want to help, great.
Joseph, bill him.
If you don't, get out of the way. We're going to go anyway. Can serve God. So drdino.com is our website right there.
Kent, I've been telling you this for months. You don't have a donate page on drdino.com unless something has changed. That's your old website, which was pretty decent. Then it got updated to the garbage that I reviewed last year, or early this year, I can't remember. And then finally it got brought back to something that's halfway decent in its current form. But last I checked, you don't have a donate page anywhere on there.
9.5 years now for free here. Pensacola for 27 years. Teaching on dinosaurs in the Bible. Matt Powell and I got whacked by Emma. Let's see.
Kent, it would have been at most 17 years for Pensacola because you started your ministry in the very late 80s and you went to jail in 2007. And by that point, DAL was basically shuttered, and the property was actually seized by the government. And now part of it is like a construction business and some other crap. It was more like 17 years at max, buddy.
And so I want to finish up just a couple things there. Kent Hovind and Matt Powell explained and exposed. Ooh, that sounds scary. Okay, here we go, folks. The big one. Wow. This is from 2021. Can you look?
Absolutely. I fully agree with the Satanic Temple donating a stuffed Baffy. That would be great. Or stuffed bats. And a Baphomet. Why the hell not? But dude, stuffed bats would be superb.
Set up, Joseph. It has more views than that now? Or too late. 440,000 views, okay? Back when, a couple days ago. Okay, let's see. Here's what Emma said. She said, I wouldn't debate her. My name is Emma. You notice Kent won't debate me. She wants an email debate. Emma, I'll debate you anytime, okay? But not an email debate. I don't have time.
She does not want an email debate. Let us be explicitly clear about that. Even the text there, blah, 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 about the time zone and stuff, for me to phone your compound. So perhaps we can arrange something via email. I know English isn't your strong point, that you only somewhat understand the language. But what she is saying is that the planning stages would be set up via an email exchange as opposed to phone calls. Okay? Now, I know the dialect is different between the UK and America, but the language is 99% interchangeable. All right, so you can't claim there's a gap there of some kind, a language gap of any kind, because it's still the same English, same enough. This is a perfect example of the fact that you lie constantly. That is quite literally not what that says. Or anyone reading that, especially in context. And notwithstanding that in Emma's now like 4-year-old video, coming up on 4 years old, she explains that effectively without even trying to like preempt you on this, just simply a matter of saying what she was going for. Like, I'm not calling you, I'd set this up through email. What you're asking her to do is literally what that text says. And yet, of course, you're going to lie as to what her intentions were to try to make it look like she is doing something wrong, according to you. Which she wouldn't be anyway if she did want an email exchange, as that's actually the modern way, written formal debate, one of the modern ways that it would be gone through. Written debate being the most proper form of debate, as opposed to this theatric garbage that you and everyone else on the internet seem to think is the hi-ho standard of reality deciding. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, you're being a piece of shit here. But that's normal day in, day out for you.
I'm real busy around here for an old man, especially. I think I'm as busy as everybody else or more. So, no, well, I had a wild idea. To fly from London to Pensacola is round trip about $600. Okay. And look at that, Joseph. It only takes 3 hours. They leave at 2 o'clock. They get here at 5 o'clock. Maybe there's, a little time change in there, like 6 hours or something. But Emma, listen to me. We care for your soul. Bible says in Psalm
Hey, Kent, no one fucking cares.
142.
Yes, I hope your Glumbus is Radicama. Allow me to help your Glumbus reach Radicama, okay? Oh, you don't understand that? You don't believe that? Well, that's just a shame for you. Otherwise, you'll have to face the eternal quickening. And no one wants that.
He said, I looked on my right hand, on my left, no man cared for my soul. I pray for you, really quite often. And I whack you to try to wake you up. You have gotten yourself involved in a cult. The evolution.
Whoa, Kent. All right. I had Nix try to do that to me once. Didn't work. And that was where it would have been consensual. You can't be doing that to random people. All right, Kent? No bueno, dude. No bueno.
Religion is nothing but a cult. We'd like to help. If you'd like to help pay for her ticket to come visit DAL, and maybe she won't come, but if you're willing to, I'd like to say, Emma, we will pay for your ticket to come. We can raise the funds, $600. Go to connect those dots or whatever you do on there, and just put in the
Rainbow Baphomets on Emma's shop. Hell yeah. I need to get me some Baffies.
memo line. This is for Emma to come to Dinosaur Adventureland, okay? We don't care for your religion, Emma. If you're right, we've lost nothing. Okay? If you're wrong, you lose.
Look at that. Let me move the quote down. Joseph decided to pop up from Restream someone's comment on Rumble. Is this a legit Kent Hovind? No, this is some kind of old fucking corpse they drug up, dressed like him, and they just, are using fucking CG and AI processes to make it look like this fucktard's doing the same thing he's been doing forever. It should go without saying, but have you ever noticed how absolutely stupid Kent Hovind followers are? Like, they're this fucking dumb that they're like, is this really Kent? I don't know, man. The Rumble account says Kent Hovind official. So maybe, because, for some reason people like him and Matt Powell think they gotta add official on there. Otherwise, it's not legit.
Lose everything. Please come, okay? We put you in one of our cabins. You could even get some of our Alabama sun. Look at that. What do you think? That's the real me. I'm Norwegian. They're all light-skinned up there, Anyway, okay. You can come meet Monty, our parrot, okay? Emma, we'll put you in one of our cabins. Okay, we got how many single?
Oh, boy. Look at the bandwidth breakdown from DAL. The stream goes to absolute dog shit.
Women here now. 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3. It's perfectly fine. It's safe here. You got a beautiful cabin. We can put you in 6C, for example, okay? There's cabin 6C, ABC. Emma, have your own cabin to yourself. Come stay for a couple days. And now, you make fun on your show of my degree. When I was at Patriot University, used to be a part of Hilltop Baptist Church.
Good God, you're still on this, buddy. You're still fucking on this. Do you have anything else to talk about, Kent? Anything at all? I mean, do you enjoy having to perpetually go through and defend yourself over and over? And I don't mean like, no, Hovind doesn't like people constantly attacking him. He wants them to shut up. But like, dude, if you've addressed it once, you've addressed it enough times, all right? You will sometimes literally spend more time in a week defending attacks against you as a person than anything to do with your theological bullshit. You will spend more time lying about actual science than anything to do with trying to help people. It just constantly. This is your entire existence. It is a kind of perpetual bitterness that I didn't think was actually possible. But here we are. You have no joy in your life beyond the self-indulgent bullshit that every narcissist stuff focuses on, which is themselves. Hence why the majority of your tour of DAL consists of constantly looking at all the shit you've done. More of it is printouts of your fucking slideshows than it is anything biblical. Anything that can be more grandiose than Kent E. Hovind and his wonderful world of bullshit. Get a fucking life, Kent.
But they love to show pictures of the double-wide trailer where it is.
Unrelated, I just found out I didn't finish some peanut butter crackers yesterday, and I'm like, hell yeah, I got a little snack for this stream. I'm fucking winning over here.
Now, I never went there. Anyway, that shows their desperation. Okay, let's get Emma back in here. About the 9-minute mark. There. Okay.
Well, if you want to give somebody $1 every time Kent misuses ad hom, you could always donate to me. If I can get a couple hundred people to send me $1, that'd help a lot.
Asks her to talk about herself, but that's women in this kind of church. That's unfortunately what happens to them. We know how condescending Kent is to women. I'm very sorry, I've been very bad. Kent is wonderful. But to add in, you should all go and visit Dr. Hovind's amazing place and give him all your money because he's the best person in the world.
I love that mockery of Kent. Also, yeah, Nick, hey buddy. Okay, so his updates about him and Sandra, yeah, I did catch that. At least like what I have caught, I know like I think it's the 28th, I think. So actually the same day as the Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity expansion release. That the last of the divorce paperwork's supposed to happen. And of course he's claiming that he's going to get all his money back and stuff. And it's like, no, you're not, Kent. That stuff was legally in her name, so piss off. But it's pretty fascinating shit, and I'd love to see details on that, just to see, just to be able to hold Kent to his lies when he inevitably rambles on even more about it.
Well, you don't have to give me all your money, but I am the best person in the world, Emma. You got that right. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, piss off, Hovind. Even as a joke, piss off.
Kent's crazy. This is crazy. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. I know that was super cringy. All right, now that we're caught up on Kent's legal entanglements, it is time to review Kent's latest livestream content about me and correct the mistakes.
Yeah, Claude, I need to go back and catch what you've been posting. I mean, everyone needs to be clear that after recent events at the beginning of the month, people's bullshit, I've really distanced myself from what one would call the atheist community. Not that that bullshit exists. It's half of it's a bunch of fuckers who will betray somebody at a moment's notice, but don't get me started on that. I'm so used to it, though. Community is a joke of a concept. Not that others haven't expressed the details that the atheist community really isn't a homogenous thing by any means. Not that, again, any broader community, especially online, is. But I've been kind of, again, taking distance from things. So there's been a lot of stuff where I've been doing carefully measured, I almost want to call it micro dosing of this, that, and the other. So like I haven't been paying attention to Hovind, even cursory other people bringing him up, just by virtue of if I am not explicitly wanting to do like a video, I've been putting it off to the side. So I'm a little overdue for checking out what you've been putting up. So I'm gonna apologize on that because this is one of those things where it's like I feel like I should check out more, but yeah.
made. Like I said, there are going to be a bunch of links in the description. If you are interested and you want to catch up on all of Kent's most recent legal entanglements and just what the hell is going on with him and his ex-wives and stuff recently, there is a Paulo.
You know, I have gone through things like his court document or the basic legal complaint against him for the structuring charges, and a few other things where I've been able to find them. His dissertation is, of course, out there. Would y'all want me to do a video on that at some point, like, or a series of videos? Since I'd probably want to take it in small slices, just a whole series of just going through his first dissertation, because there's a couple of them, but I think only the famous one has been actually leaked. Hello, my name is Kent Hovind, and give my own commentary on it. I don't know what else I have to add, but y'all like my style, so might as well go for it, right? Just let me know.
What, 10 minutes? And still hasn't got to the point. Okay. It's all ad hominem.
No, she is getting to the point. It is all about you. Yeah, it is an attack on the person, but it's not a logical fallacy to do that when the whole point is to target the person. They are talking about you. This has nothing to do with evolution and the constant debate you wish to have, and you can't just hide being a shitty person behind that. All right, that's the same kind of shit that fucking Kirk boy and his sycophants do. He was just having conversations. No, he was being a shitty person and hiding it behind debate. Fuck that shit. Fuck him and fuck you too.
I don't like your degree. Your wife left you. Blah blah blah. This has nothing to do with
No,
it.
your degree is worthless, and again, you use it as a matter of applying status to your arguments, a virtue of basically an appeal to authority that can quickly be dismissed by realizing that the title you effectively gave yourself by virtue of a diploma mill has no actual value. In addition, you presenting yourself as such a kind gentleman is also a load of shit, considering you have abused women before. And having been divorced 4 times, I'm sorry, that says something about your character. All right? Now, people can be, have rough ends and be good in other areas. Everyone's got their good points and their bad points. We're humans. That's how it works. The people I've idolized through my life, I will point out their flaws just as quickly as I will the traits about them that I admire. Where I'm aware of given flaws, because some people I just don't know much about them that's negative. You find me something bad about Gus Grissom, please. If you can find out something bad about him, let me know. But that's me acknowledging the faults of humanity, the human condition, one element of it. You, however, show minimal, if any, decent traits. Consistently exude horrible traits, which means we don't like you. You are not a good person by any measure. And to tout yourself as one and hide behind I'm just preaching the word, preaching lies to people, is going to be a problem. So people are going to call that out. If you don't like it, Kent, stop being such a shitty person. But you won't stop because you can't stop, because that's all you are, is a shitty person.
Point. Okay. Nothing at all whatsoever to do. You guys are so desperate. You got to attack the man.
And yes, Sandra is number 4. To fill anyone in who doesn't know the deeper Hovind lore, he was originally married to Jo Hovind, his children's mother, so Eric's mom, etc. And that whole end of the family, the mom side and everyone down, so Eric, Marlissa, etc., are all still involved in what Eric is doing, ministerial wise. Because you'll see their names in the credits of things like the night at the Creation Museum and the like. So that's the first wife, married in like 73, divorced when Kent got out of prison, so 2016-ish. He very quickly got in a relationship with and married Mary Toko, a known anti-vaxxer. That lasted about 6 months. Then that fell apart. I forget the exact time frame, but within a couple of years, he was involved with a woman known as Cindy Lincoln. And then that would end 2020, 2021 range with possibly 2019. I mean, he was obviously very, very cruel to her. um, with the body slam incident. And then a couple of years later, he would get with Sandra, and at the beginning of the year, she would leave. Sandra left Doc, took 16,000, took the shop, blah blah blah, and here's where we stand. That's a rough summation of Kent Hovind's known marriage life, and every bit of it is as creepy as you would think.
That's okay, Emma. Let's see.
Video featuring Atheist Junior that goes into detail. It's really, really good, so I'll link that down below. Let's get back into Whack an Atheist and see what Kent has to say about me today. It gets a little bit complicated because he's shouted me out in about 5 different videos since the last Whack an Atheist Wednesday we did, which was not very long ago. So the first one in which he mentioned me is now privated because Kent Hovind, YouTube. Fortunately, Robert Beatty continues to document Kent's online.
Robert Beatty documents everything. He's got nothing better to
Robert Beatty has pretty much stepped away from you. Last I checked, his website had basically been purged, although he has popped into my chat from time to time, and if memory serves, provided supporting comments to what I do. So it's good to know that some of the core people who have focused on you, in Beatty's case, was stuff related to your tax crimes, are supporting the followers of those other Hovind watchers from the good old days. So, yeah, he's got plenty of stuff to do and seems to have had a pretty successful life doing what he does. I haven't seen his drama constantly be brought up over and over and over and over and over and over because I haven't really seen any drama regarding him except for everything you wish to do regarding his existence and the fact he covers you, because you get bitter about that when you make yourself such a target of the internet phenomenon known as lolcow, or you make yourself such a lolcow, thus making you the target of such observations.
do. He's an IRS agent, okay? Probably been assigned to my case. Okay.
Presence. So we have some of the.
Yeah, Kent, if he was an agent assigned actively to some case against you, he wouldn't be publicly interacting with things the way he would. That's not how legal processes go. Which you act like you're some kind of legal expert, so you think you would understand this, but obviously you don't.
Comments that he said that I wanted to respond to. Essentially, he's upset at atheists for constantly talking about his dissertation being bullshit. For some reason, he really focused on the fact that we all laugh at the fact.
Yeah, Nick, I'm fine, and I appreciate that. Sometimes shit just happens. People do what they're gonna do. So, I always like to bring up this quote from, of all people, Jim Jones. Not even a day before the Jonestown massacre actually happened, when the NBC News crew was there doing their filming that led to him going through that thing. And granted, Jim Jones was, of course, talking out his ass because the rumors he was responding to were valid, but he said a line that has always resonated with me. People play games, friend. They lie. What can I do about liars? And it's funny that coming from a manipulative cult leader, but the quote in its actual wordage stays incredibly true. And it's weird that having come from someone as evil as Jim Jones. But it surmises the situation perfectly. For a lot of my life, honestly. You grow tired of it, quite honestly. You know, it's just like, eh. But yeah, I appreciate that though, Nick. A ton. How many times is he going to cover this video? Yeah, well, this is a continuation of his Whack an Atheist, but he's covered this one at least like twice I can think of. It's wild. He's done a Aaron Raw and Simon Dan videos quite a few times.
That it starts, hello, my name is Kent Hovind. Doesn't matter that the rest of it is horribly written, that the formatting is dog shit. None of that matters. So he's talking about.
Still, all ad hominem. Emma, what is the point on evolution? Come on. If you don't like my spelling, I believe me, spelling was my worst subject. Doesn't matter.
My spelling sucks too, don't you worry, Kent. I'm not going to fault you for spelling intrinsically, but I would expect something better on such a dissertation. However, this was typewritten or early word processed. at the tail end of the era before your typical word process, typical PC and modern spell checks were super common. So I don't know exactly how you would have done all the formatting on this thing. And as a typewriter enthusiast, when you have shitty spelling, you really become aware of it. But still, I would expect something a little more refined for, again, what is supposed to ostensibly be a dissertation. As Mr. Logo puts it, though, it's not a dissertation. We will, of course, refer to it as such only for context, so I don't have to come up with some comedic way to phrase it every single time. Because I'm not feeling my most creative today. I'm a little bit more on the analytical side of things. Analytical. Analytical, anyone?
Now they got spell check to correct all that, okay? But my dissertation, they told me to transcribe my seminar. I did. And I think most people that read it love it, okay? You're the one. People.
Has been. Definitely link me. Send some stuff my way. I'm just always curious. I always want anything that can be tossed over. I might not be available at a moment to like deep discuss things or something because half the time I'm at work, another half I'm doing something random. But yeah, definitely send stuff over. Yeah, and his dissertation does make him look like the ramblings of a weirdo because it really is.
People that watch it love it. You can get the whole thing for $50 and watch it. I think it really.
I gotta sell my product. The opinionated British kid. Oh, like Kent is an opinionated Sea Science Labs. Let's stop that. Sea Science Film Labs. Hey, it's the opinionated British kid again. Emma's not a kid. She's an adult woman. Oh, I'm sorry. People aren't supposed to have opinions. Kent seems sure to have a lot of opinions. And hey, so do you. Funny. It's not okay for her to share what she thinks, but you fuckers go all day long. And what does the fact that she's from the United Kingdom have anything to do with anything? Huh? Sea Science Film Labs? Huh? Also, let's note that's a comment from YouTube, which means that fed in from YouTube, possibly from this very stream we're watching, because I don't think the other Kenthoven fan account channel is actively streaming anymore. I think they realized they couldn't play off that one. Left everything up, though. So that means it's an active comment on here, which means this channel is linked to their Restream account, meaning it is getting a first-party copy of the feed, matching with the fact that they have put all this follow us information in there. So just stressing once again that this is a first-party channel and that they are ban evading once again. And yeah, it is a little convenient because I prefer messing around with YouTube to other platforms like fucking Rumble. But yeah.
Answer a lot of questions for you. So if you don't like it, don't read it. Okay? Let's see right here.
At Patriot University, the absolutely unaccredited, definitely not state-sanctioned university.
Oh, state sanctioned means something that makes it good. The state sanctioned colleges, students leave there believing they're related to a potato and they come from a rock. Emma, those are the stupid ones. Come on.
That's really, really gross in all meanings of the word simplification of what reality actually is, Kent. And no one thinks we came from a rock. This has been explained to you and Matt Powell to the nth degree, and all you idiots can do is misinterpret the same couple of random pop science news articles. Try harder, lads.
Wake up.
That cannot give real doctorates, just to remind everybody. This is him talking about them. I asked them, I would like to do my dissertation. I would like to do my dissertation. What would you like for it to be on? Because that's how you talk to your supervisor when you're fucking doing a degree.
She goes and blabs on again about the dissertation. Emma, you're missing the point. It's all ad hominem. Let me go up to about the 14-minute mark, I think.
Doesn't matter. See, you're going to skip her going into detail on the nuances of your dissertation being garbage, of its very origin being a joke. Because none of this involving your dissertation is how actual college works.
Is where she finally gets on track. There we go.
Actually going to Whack-A-Natheus Wednesday. Unfortunately, we can't start.
Boy, y'all loving that slideshow? That was great.
At the beginning, he starts talking about me about 7 minutes in. We can't really start until about 13 minutes in because the audio is broken. It also starts midway through a sentence, right? So it starts like this.
broken. So she.
It is incredible that the audio breaks there as well. Possibly, though, because of Joseph muting Kent. I'm not sure, but that's fucking funny. Laura brings up she's her husband's third wife. Does not automatically make him a bad person. Nope. I mean, yeah, that's definitely not what anyone's saying here. The second marriage was for 13 years. Ours is 5 plus. So, yeah, totally not the same. And the reasons really don't matter unless it becomes an open issue. But it doesn't seem to me, if I just had to hazard a guess, that divorce through a marriage for that long was due to him body slamming somebody, as opposed to what we know about Hoven's history. And yeah, even Matt left him. But yeah, Esmond, definitely consolidate that stuff, buddy. Get it to me and Claude, so we'll have that in the repertoire, because when things start to stabilize, hopefully beginning of next year, I want to do some more deep focus on this stuff, the details.
Remember when Matt Powell joined to be that tech guy? So skip ahead until the audio is fixed, because I can't respond to it because I can't fucking hear it. Even his fans in the
Especially when they find dinosaur skeletons fully.
She dropped another F-bomb, and he's just dumb-facing. Duh! Let's laugh at that again, derisively in Hoven's general direction, as he looks like an idiot, because he is.
Even his fans in the.
Especially when they find dinosaur skeletons.
All right. Back just a little bit further.
Be that tech guy. So skip ahead until the audio is fixed, because I can't respond to it because I can't fucking hear it. Even his fans in the.
I really can't respond to it because I can't fucking hear it. And he's just, duh.
Especially when they find dinosaur skeletons fully articulated. All the bones are still connected. Animal dies today, the coyotes.
I'm pretty sure that's extremely rare. Does Kent know that in museums they've put together the bones? Does he think?
I claimed they find lots of bones.
Yeah, that's a good point worth bringing up, Kent. To you, Kent, is that the articulations you claim to see in some cases, like the ones that look like their heads are thrown back, like they drowned. That's extremely rare to find. If this was the case, like you think they all died, you would find tons of them stratified in perfectly, in just like that all the time, perfectly preserved. But you don't. Most of the stuff we find is random parts of animals, like you'd expect, especially with millions of years of tectonic activity. And those that look like they drowned, that's not how they died. That's not how they were when they died. Well-known processes happen. I forget the exact details, but but people do know the details and can articulate them to you. The actual fucking scientists, the actual paleontologists who study this shit.
Fully articulated means the creature died and stayed intact. The scavengers didn't tear it apart. It didn't, dissolve. Fully articulated skeletons. And she said she thinks it's rare because the museums have to put them together. Emma, let me catch you up to speed on some science, okay? Here we go. Right here. And she complained, I made a slide. She complained that I called people a moron. I couldn't think of a better word. If you believe you came from a rock. So I lost my mouse. Oh, there it is. Okay. Moron. Let's see. Moron, a foolish or stupid person. Moron, a person who is notably stupid or lacking in good judgment.
The video's almost 4 years old, Laura. It'll come up on its 4th anniversary this December, because it's from 2021. And yeah, that's what I was saying last stream. She moved like twice.
Somebody who believes in evolution, you really think you're related to a potato? Professor Dave's related to a strawberry. I got the whole chart. Where's that thing? Joseph, around here somewhere. Somebody made that for me. Because I used to ask all the professors I was debating, do you believe you're related to a rat or a mouse or a louse or something? Never mind, it's here somewhere. Okay, let's see. Emma, do I need to use a different word? Would that help you maybe understand? A person who believes they're related to a potato and they came from a rock. Let's try idiot.
That's nobody, dumbass. First off, the relation would be to the potato plant, which you're still going to say sounds ridiculous, but of course you pick something like that because at a first glance or first listen it sounds ridiculous when you don't realize that all life is connected. So get the fuck over it. And again, the stupid came from a rock crap from the guy who believes in magically animated dust and a rib woman, which once again means that Eve is also trans.
Fool, dunce, blockhead, dimwit. How about simpleton, oaf, dolt, dummy, numbskull, twit, schmack, schmuck, schmuck, okay. Let's see. Doofus, dork, goofball, knucklehead, bonehead, goon, clod, lump. There's a lot of them on the internet, okay.
Boy, you tune into this, and this is your good Christian. This is a good Christian message you want to hear on at this point a Thursday night. In this case, of when this was streamed, yep, that's totally what you want.
Yes, Emma, they do find fully articulated skeletons. Let's see, what's the name of this article? Articulated skeletons. Huh. Okay. Articulated skeletons are quite common, indicating rapid burial, deep enough to be preserved. Huh. What would cause something like that? They drowned and were buried rapidly before being scavenged or rotting. Okay. How can I become a fossil? BBC. That's where you live, Emma, over there. Okay. Let's see. And they got their neck thrown back quite often. That is a sign of their drowning or gasping for air. Maybe like in a flood, they're desperately trying to get their last breath. There's a name for it. Many fossilized animals, including dinosaurs, pterosaurs, birds, and early mammals, are found in a characteristic posture where the head is thrown back, the tail is arched upward, and the mouth is wide open. A pose often referred to as the opistotonic death pose or dinosaur death pose. This posture is frequently interpreted as evidence of death throes caused by brain damage and asphyxiation. They're dying of lack of oxygen, like drowning. Let's see, which can result from drowning, volcanic ash falls, or other catastrophic events. This position is well documented and numerous well-preserved specimens, like the 150 million year old Archaeopteryx, which virtually all are.
Oh, and Laura, thank you for continuing to be a member. Every penny helps.
Articulated fossils exhibit this classic pose. Interesting. Paleontologist Kevin Padian and somebody else, let's see, proposed.
Skin shrank, thank you. I knew it was a pretty simple reason. I just couldn't remember what reason. So you rock. And yep, common bird things, and happens with the avian dinosaurs too. And something you notice is that all the examples that Kent and other creationists will bring up happen to be avian dinosaurs.
In 2007, that this posture results from I forgot how to learn to pronounce it. I don't care. Okay, got their neck thrown back, right? Let's see. Leading to uncontrolled muscle contractions during a prolonged death, like drowning in the flood. This explanation is supported by the observation.
And yes, if this is your first time hearing it, Kent doesn't say drowning. He says drowning, like a fucking backwoods idiot. He also says height instead of height, and will oftentimes leave out articles and statements. So instead of saying I was a lifeguard, he'll say I was lifeguard. One of his things is be like, your teacher, I'm lowly student. That's when he claims that teachers have authority over children. It's ridiculous. And he talks just as uneducated as you would expect.
That animals with high metabolic rates, like birds and mammals, are more likely to display this pose. There are fossil graveyards all over South America, all over Asia, fossil graveyards. There are scores of.
Hey, Kent, you want to line those up with the geologic evidence of there being coastlines and such in those areas? Because that's what it lines up to, that geologically, at those time periods, those would have been coastlines of oceans. Hell, a small protrusion, if you will, of water, not the Mississippi River at all, a predecessor to all that stuff, shot up right to Memphis, there where I'm at right now. I forget exactly when, but it was funny when I realized it. I was like, wait a minute. At one point, the very area I'm at was beachfront property. And if it was to dig far enough down, the evidence would be there. It's really fascinating shit. And don't even get me started on the attempted continental crust separation that created the rift that it has become the New Madrid Fault, about 5 kilometers below me. That's pretty fucking awesome. But let's continue.
Fossil graveyards around the world. where there's a massive of bones. Like maybe they all drowned in a flood or swirling water, which a flood would cause with the Coriolis effect, okay? Like the prevailing wind patterns, you have a prevailing ocean pattern, okay, with the water turning.
It's funny, the water isn't really going to move the way you think it would, Kent. And also, your tidal moon bulges are an absolute joke. You have it completely ass backwards. Not that you brought those up, but if you ever do, just know that you do have it completely backwards. That the tide would not be as dramatic with a world covered in water.
Let's see. Major dinosaur fossil sites. Why would they find them all over the world? Tangled up bones all together, buried together, with the neck thrown back, some of them. Oh, interesting. Okay. Emma, I think you're wrong. Okay. It's pretty common. Fully articulated bones, exposed tailbone of a sauropod dinosaur. Well, if it laid there for 1,000, 100, even 20 years.
Yeah, where's the rest of it, Kent?
The buzzards would have dragged it off. The scavengers, coyotes would have dragged it off. Let's see. Opistotonic death pose. Wow. There we go. Look at that. Articulated. All these.
Yep. Fossils are in sediment because that's what makes fossils. And death pose because they died. I love the fact that you articulated it in a way just like Hovind would, but the difference is you're speaking facts and not BS.
Fish. All their skeletons are still intact, Emma. Look at this. All of them. Ancient cockroaches of the sea, fossilized while playing follow the leader. Fully articulated skeletons, even the rib bones, the neck bones, everything, the tail bones. Fish fossils in the Green River Formation. Ooh, millions of them up there. Fish fossils. Fins are extended. They're terrified. They're scared of something, and they're being drowned, okay? Fish can drown, you know. The stones cry out. Great book on this topic.
Fish can drown, you know.
They find fossil footprints. Thousands and thousands of dinosaur footprints have been found all over the world. For that to happen, they would have to walk in the mud and then have to give it, a short time for it to dry a little bit and another layer of mud on top to preserve it. I think Noah's flood, every tide going up and down as we go under the moon, the tidal pumping would.
Oh my god, he actually fucking brought it up. I brought that up just on a whim as just one of those random things to refresh my memory on since I thought of it in the moment. And there he goes, bringing the tidal pumping.
Make new layers. All the layers that we see in the stupid geologic column probably came from that one flood in the days of Noah. There is no geologic column, okay? And these fossil footprints being preserved indicates they had to step in the mud to make it, and then it had to be covered right away to preserve it.
Yep, and that's why you only find it in very particular places and not all over the fucking planet, Kent. For your flood to accurately describe, or had your flood happened, the evidence wouldn't be isolated situations that can easily be explained by localized events. This would be absolutely universal, and it is not. In some cases, you creationists cite literally one supposed specimen pointing potentially towards the phenomena you wish to say was the case. When were it as prevalent as you act like it was, i.e., again, all over the planet, you would literally see this everywhere.
Prints from a vast dinosaur highway discovered in UK. Emma, you can go there. It's in Oxfordshire. Okay. Footprints from a vast
Oxfordshire, you uncultured swine. It's not Shire, it's Shire.
Dinosaur highway. Like maybe they're all running from rising floodwaters. You wonder about that? There's a fish swallowing another fish. Does that take millions of years? Are those bones still pretty well
Hey, Kent. This is a fine example of the idiocy of you guys. The goddamn thing tried to swallow a fish that was a little too big and fucking died. And of course, the fish being eaten, it's not really getting free from that now, is it? Since it's fucking stuck. They die, they float, they sink, sediment happens. Da-da! Ask a geologist about the exact strata it was found in. Get the details. You just come on, dude.
Articulated? Yeah, okay. Dinosaur eggs have been found. Let's see. Fossil dinosaur eggs are known from 200 sites around the world. Somebody brought us two of
Yeah, if they were a lot, if the flood happened and this happened all over the world, you'd think with dinosaur specimen populations in the millions, if not billions of specimens alive, with them all laying eggs, given the nature of reproductive cycles, you would find eggs all over the fucking world. But you don't. Also, let's not ignore the fact that you have many, many sets of geologic strata to find just the varying dinosaurs and era-related organisms. And that, of course, you only find certain ones lower than others and vice versa, which you're going to say is because of hydrologic sorting and some escaping the flood and not drowning sooner than later. Yet none of the criteria you cite as to why that would be apply when you look at the actual arrangement of organism specimens in the strata. Almost as if they are chronologically separated by far more vast periods than what you claim to be.
About 3 or 4 days ago, they're in the museum there. Very rarely, fossil embryos are preserved inside the dinosaur egg. Whoa, let's see. Dinosaur dung. I got some dung here, fossilized. We always hand it to the kids first. You know what this is, kids? Let it hold. No, that's fossilized poop. Ooh. It's dry. It's okay.
Okay, Kent, you've got something in your hand that you. I was going to try to parody his something in your mouth we wouldn't put in our hands, and it's like I couldn't make it work. But yeah. See, at least I acknowledge when my jokes fail, Kent. At least I acknowledge where I don't always get things right. I don't always, make the best decision. Like really shitty jokes, pun intended. Ho! You can't even do that.
It's in our museum. Come see it. Trilobites. Petrified cowboy boot. Found in West Texas.
Oh, here we go. All the creationist strong points. The fucking boot. The fucking boot. It's fucking calcified. That is not petrified. That has not gone through the fossilization process, you fucking idiot.
Let's see. CAT scans performed by Harris Methodist Hospital.
Encrusted in stone and calcium deposits is not fossilization, buddy. All right?
Hospital in 1997 confirmed this is
by your logic, we can just put a bunch of hair dryers on the back of a goddamn 777 and get just as much performance as a G90 engine. Totally works. Exact same thing.
There's a foot in there, in a cowboy boot. So either somebody had cowboy boots millions of years ago, or it doesn't take millions of years to fossilize.
Or some poor stupid son of a bitch lost their fucking foot, possibly the rest of their life, and that particular chunk of material ended up being in an area where water was running over it from underground, possibly in a small cave or something, which I'm pretty sure is where it was, found. Bones partial foot, revealed, elaborate set, CT scans, blah, 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 radiological, technical, blah, 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 Creation Evidence Museum. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course it's in the Creation Evidence Museum. So it could be a fucking fraud for all we know. I don't even fucking know. But, yeah, you get sedimentary water, sediment-laden water running over something. Calcium's gonna kind of bond to it. It's going to kind of encrust it. That's how that works.
Got a better theory? Let's hear it. Okay.
Yeah, I just gave you it.
Fossilized fish giving birth. It doesn't take millions of years to give birth.
Yeah, it doesn't take millions of years to die giving birth either. Also, that's I checked. Fish don't. That's a fish. It wouldn't be giving birth. So you've got several problems there. Forget the exact details on that particular specimen, but nonetheless, Kent, you kind of going nowhere. And the hat, the same thing, where it has been calcified, was in a very wet area in a cave, and water running over carried the calcium that deposited on the hat. You know what's funny, Kent, is if you were to take the thing and give it a good hard squeeze, I bet you'd have a lot of cracking and flaking and a lot of dust coming off. Maybe you have to whack it with a hammer, but I'm pretty sure you'd suddenly restore the softness to some parts of that hat.
guy, okay? Fossilized or mineralized cowboy or hat, okay?
Oh, see, you acknowledge that element of stuff. It's not even permineralized, though. And when I say fossilized, I'm not permineralized. You're almost there. It's just sediment covered, buddy.
Miner's hat. There's a petrified leg of ham in the same volcanic eruption. Creation magazine covered that. Here he goes. A kid in Montana named David Cosby. David, you're probably 40 years old now. Call me if you see this. He sent me this pickle in the original jar. That one got busted in our museum, so it's the same size jar. He said they were out walking in the woods in Montana, found an old house all falling apart, the roof gone, and part of the pantry was still standing. In what's left of the pantry was this jar with a petrified pickle inside. Put that back up there, Joseph. Yeah. Huh. Fossilized pickle.
Yeah, it's not there, buddy. Seems like that thing fucking calcified like a lot of other shit. Or I don't know the exact details. I don't know what the brine water and the like would have been. I don't know. All I know is it ain't a fossil. Definitionally, or in any kind of aspect like you try to make it out to be.
The lid to the jar rusted off and it turned to stone. Let's see. A pickle. Don't bite it, okay?
Hey, how about we fucking cut into it and see what's going on there, buddy?
There you go, fossilized pickle. Yeah, interesting. It had a flood at a flour mill in Arkansas.
And honestly, yeah, I would love to. Honestly, I might, if I can remember to after the stream, look up what would happen to a pickle that has been in, like what kind of possible brine solutions and the like could result in such. Because that's what I'm suspecting, is that the brine solution, as it would have evaporated, would have left material that, as the pickle itself did what it does, it dries up, it would have soaked up brine solution that would have evaporated, and it slowly would have also become minerally hardened. Not like fossilization, but in the same way someone with cholesterol problems and such will have hardened arteries.
And a lot of the sacks of flour turned to stone. Petrified bags of flour. Interesting. Doesn't take millions of years.
No, Kent, if you get flour wet, especially in bags, it's going to bind and harden up like that. It's not stone, it's fucking sogged up flour. Are you people that stupid? Hey, if I pour a bunch of water and baking soda and then let it dry, uh-oh, it's petrified. Wow. Is the stuff you've been leaving in the one sock in your drawer, Kent, while you're watching interviews of yourself, is that stuff petrified too? Because it's dried up, it's all old and crusty, kind of like you.
Petrified hammer. We have a replica of it here. Fossilized hammer. Let's see. Max Hahn fishing in London, Texas. He found a rock with a wood protruding from.
Yeah, exactly. Your kitchen faucet's a fossil. My fucking bath, my fucking shower, totally fossilized. And part of my old house, that bathtub, totally fossilized, man. Totally fossilized. You know how I know? You couldn't take anything and get that stuff off. CLR didn't do shit, so it obviously wasn't calcium lime or rust. Even though the CLR actually did do a good job, it was just really fucking thick, and I was lazy, and my ex wouldn't do anything to help, so I didn't bother cleaning anything more than that one spot. It was fine. But seriously, all jokes aside, yeah, you get the calcium deposits if you have remotely hard water, which Memphis does have, because our water comes from a natural sand aquifer. It's some good shit too. You ain't lived if you ain't had Memphis water. Of course, you ain't lived and had a burger from Dyer's either. And that stays with you, quite literally. But yeah, that's the exact process. The same that leaves your taps slightly calcified and slightly crusty. Hell, you pour normal tap water on plants, and it ends up being, you get the little white stuff on the leaves. That's the hardened minerals from the water being extracted out. And it's like, yep, there you go. Yeah. Held that pickle. Nice. Oh man, that's funny. Everyone wants Kent to lick the forbidden pickle. Is that Rasputin's pickle? Yes, yes. Rasputin's preserved pickle, fresh from the former Soviet Union. Oh fuck! And yes, I know Rasputin was killed as part of the or during the revolution. Da, 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 da. But you know, his pickle would have stayed in the what would become the Soviet Union. Rainwater. Good point. Good point. For rainwater from a metal roof. There you go. Thank you, Nick. That's a perfect chain of logic.
When the rock was cracked open, octagon-shaped iron hammer was exposed. Little octagon shape on the hammer here. Okay. Tests at Battelle Laboratory documented the hammer's unusual metallurgy: 96% iron, 2.6 chlorine, 0.74 sulfur, no carbon. Density test indicating casting of exceptional quality. There's a little notch on here where they filed a piece out to get some of the sample to test it, okay? This does not form readily under present atmospheric conditions. Maybe they had double air pressure when this thing was made, like before the flood, like I've been teaching for 30.
Hey, Kent, if the air pressure was double and that flood happened and that, you know, well, one, your 10 kilometer or 10 mile high canopy would have resulted in more than double air pressure, I'm pretty sure. Certainly results in double blood pressure for me. But yeah, I'm pretty sure their lungs would have fucking collapsed and a lot of things would have had severe issues. And oh, yeah, oceans probably would have boiled in some places, given the pressure release and the potential temperatures. The body isn't built for that kind of stuff, Kent. We have serious problems. Every person would have fucking come down with the bends instantly. No one of them would have been fucking hurting from the nitrogen bubbles forming in their bloodstream. Yeah, there you go, Kent. I hadn't even thought about that, but the fact that you just said double air pressure, yeah, Noah and his family would have died of the bends. Congratulations. You just played yourself. Someone note that down. I don't know if anyone's ever brought it up, but I'm pretty sure going instantly from double air pressure to, you know, let's ask our good friend ChatGPT. Da 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 da. Would going from 2x air pressure to 1x cause the bends? Like an instant change from double air pressure to normal. And we'll go to that. Yeah, potentially, though. It depends how long you were at 2 atmosphere and how fast you decompressed, and it goes through details. Let's say your entire life, which was in this stage 500 years. Yeah, I didn't want to show the fact that I fuck up spelling hundreds. I have spelling problems. Sue me. Is this coming through okay? Yeah. I have to say 500 years. Like a massive door was opened. That's a big one. So you live your entire 500-year lifespan at 2 atmospheres. Everything about your body, your fluids, gas exchange, cellular equilibrium has adapted to that environment. Then suddenly the pressure drops to an instant 1 atmosphere. That's not a bad case of the bends. That's catastrophic internal decompression. Oh, man. All right, I just fucking tore my throat out laughing like that. Oof. Literally boil from the inside out because of gas expression. So, yeah. Congratulations, Hove. And Noah and his family are fucked. Just straight up. And you can't say that you can't trust ChatGPT and the like, because I'm pretty sure if we were to run the numbers, we would get results that would match that. But using computer algorithms and large language models and destroying a small part of the rainforest to ask those questions, I'm going to trust that its general thoughts and the data it has archived and the way it processed things is going to be roughly accurate. Because in going through other details, I have found answers in the way I phrase questions and the stuff that I do look up to generally be accurate. And where things are wrong, they wind up being grossly wrong. I'm in no way saying that ChatGPT or anything like that is remotely perfect. Far from it. But yeah, when you know enough to know that it's probably thinking along the right lines, you can kind of use it as something to bounce ideas off of in the same way, you would your friend who knows a lot about a whole lot of random things. Actually, the way some people use me in a lot of subjects, but that's neither here nor there. Let me see where we're at in some of the chat as I continue to let this idiot play.
30 years now. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Of course, it's 140 million years old. There's no such thing as a Cretaceous period, guys. No such thing. Okay. It was a different tide of the moon pulling the water up and down. Okay. Let's see.
Nick, yeah, we could totally fucking do that sometime. That would be pretty fascinating to do, actually. So maybe I'll plan up a show, hell, maybe tomorrow, where we just do kind of a random, let's figure stuff out. Let's throw ideas out there and see what we can come up with.
Fossilized petrified peanuts. Go to Ripley Museum in St. Augustine. I saw that. I said, man, a cluster of peanuts. They grow underground. Petrified. Huh. That was 20 years ago when I took the photo. Let's see. Petrified charcoal briquettes. Let's see. Petrified teddy bear. Actually, permineralized. Let's see. Teddy bear. They put all kinds. There's a place in Czech Republic.
Kent, I'm glad you at least called it the Czech Republic instead of Czechoslovakia, although it would be called the Czech Republic. And also, that's not the country's actual name. Its actual name is Czechia. Let's get it right. It's very weird how for some reason we in the West will call it the Czech Republic when it's Czechia. That's neither here nor there, though. Once again, we have something. You'll notice commonalities with this in that most of these things being shown are cloth. They're fibrous in some way. With the pickle, they are organic and indeed are structured in such a way by their development, by what they are, to funnel fluids and materials in certain ways, or are otherwise organic. The only thing that doesn't quite fit with the rest of this happens to be that hammer, and I'm pretty sure the hammer is well covered by several other people. I have never cared enough about the hammer to think much of it. When you live in the real world, you don't ever think about this creationist bullshit.
There's a little waterfall that splatters all over, and it's high mineral content water. You can put
Yeah, you literally just explained the whole thing, Kent.
anything around it, and it'll turn to stone.
It won't turn to stone. It'll be mineralized. Mineral deposits will bond to the very, very high surface area of fabrics such as that bear. The bear is not stone. Its fibrous structure is encased in this material as a coating in literally the same way one would paint a house.
A few weeks, okay? Petrified toadstool. Funk Gem and Mineral Museum, Shirley, Illinois. The kid, Ethan, said, Brother Hovind, 7 years old. I put a bunch of acorns in a bucket of water hoping they would sprout, and I forgot about them. And they turned to stone a year later.
Yeah, it's some hard water. Also, kid, you really shouldn't be sitting around with that guy. He hangs out with fucking pedophiles.
Interesting. One thing all types of fossilization share, the dead organism.
Oh, calls in this one. I have to do these call-ins now, so I know if I need to avoid certain sections. Yeah, nobody fucking called in on this one. Some weird dude calls in on the next one. I don't think I'm going to cover his call-in. I think he just slobs on Hoven's knob for a while about flood shit and stuff I don't care about. But I'll at least cover the Dave Farina parts of it. Professor Dave, because apparently he decided after bringing up quote-unquote Strawberry Dave this time that he'd go on and talk about him on the Friday video.
To be trapped underneath layers of sediment, like maybe the flood would do. But Emma, the Bible says like you will be willingly ignorant of the creation and the flood. 2 Peter chapter 3. This is what makes fossilization such a rare event. Rare? There are billions of fossils in the world. What do you mean rare? If an organism is left exposed after death, it'll be usually be destroyed by decay and scavenging.
How many fossils do we actually have, Kent? How many fossils of any given species do we have? Then think about how many examples of that creature would have actually lived. Then you realize just how rare fossilization is. Like, if intelligent life exists, 30 and 40 million years from now and is investigating areas where human activity has been, they might possibly. It's unlikely, but it is not beyond the realm of possibility that Homo sapien fossils will be found. And depending on what you mean by fossil, the archaeological, technical definition versus what people naturally think of with full permineralization, those already have been found. Insofar as a 10,000 year age barrier going on for one definition. But when we think of them like we do the dinosaur fossils, where all the bones are there, but they're all, completely stone now. You will find them, but you will find very few of them compared to the at current estimated 80 billion Homo sapien or something that have ever existed. And that number actually could be lower. I may be grossly overestimating it. And part of me wants to think it may have been 23 billion that have existed total. Vastly different numbers. But, we're talking again billions of having lived specimens. And the potential for finding fossils might only be, a couple of dozen easy to get a hold of ones, partly because of just how we live. But who knows how many of those bodies thrown in the East River by mafia bosses, and everyone's favorite gangster films. Who knows if something might happen to those? I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe in 50 million years, someone will finally find Jimmy Hoffa, right? But this is the problem. You don't understand anything of what you're talking about. You at this stage acknowledge it
before it has a chance to fossilize. I agree. Under the right conditions, fossilization can occur relatively quickly, in the ballpark of hundreds or thousands of years. Actually, under pressure, there's a guy has a little machine, he cranks pressure up on it, can turn something to a fossil in 1 day. Yeah, we're going to buy one here, right, for our museum. We don't have it yet. Let's consider permineralization. Most of us think of when we think about fossilization. Permineralization requires a good availability of minerals like sulfur, iron, carbon, silica in the water or sediments around the fossil, like Noah's flood would do, bury them in mud. The more minerals available, the more rapidly.
Noah's flood would do, burying them in mud. Yep, everything was mud, Kent. Every single thing was mud. Any kind of in semi-homogeneous mix of particulate and fluid material of water, I should say, creating a semi-fluid material with high viscosity isn't mud. Mud usually, I think, specifically refers to quote-unquote dirt, as in organic decomposition topsoil that's been sogged, as opposed to, sand. Sand isn't dirt. But from the way you speak of things, you would classify sand, wet beach sand as dirt in this context, when that's not the case. So, again, playing a little fast and loose with language there, which is, of course, a hallmark of creationist bullshit. Let us not forget when I covered, inadvertently made a whole series out of covering Creation and Symphony by our good old word salad friend Carl Baugh, who in no way, shape, or form understands what nuclear moderation is. I should say neutron moderation. in the terms of nuclear physics.
Rapidly, fossilization can occur. The speed at which it occurs will depend strongly on the size of the organism. Tiny organisms like eggs or embryos can actually fossilize quite quickly, perhaps in a matter of weeks or months. In the laboratory, paleontologists have been able to fossilize lobster and shrimp eggs in 2 to 8 weeks. This is from Curious Mercat over there in the UK. Emma, check them out. Okay,
That's not Mercat, that's Meerkat, you fucking idiot. Secondly, let's just give you that for the sake of what I'm about to say. The amount of time it takes something fossilized is still irrelevant to the actual age of it. Just because that pickle would have taken maybe 8 weeks to fossilize, does that mean it's only 8 weeks old? Or is it at least, damn near 40 or like 30 based on what you told about the kid and when the dumbass would have given it to you? So you're not making the point you think you're going to make here.
co.uk. Researchers in Washington have developed a method that can speed up the process of wood petrification in the lab, producing chemically petrified wood in just a matter of days. Interesting, huh? Fossilized piece of pizza. Well, a fish with his mouth wide open turned to stone.
Billy Bass, what have they done to you? Oh, there we go, his favorite chart. Which, I'm not going to lie, the one thing I love about this damn chart, and I do love that Professor Dave will use it as well, almost mockingly, is that the scientist right here is like, holy shit, it's a pterodactyl. Fucking love that.
There is no such thing as a geologic column. I'm sorry.
Except there is.
A human shoe print. Not a footprint, a shoe print, where the guy stepped on and smashed a trilobite. How on earth can this happen? Wow.
It's just an impression that you happen to, thanks to pareidolia and an extreme bias, think is a shoe print. Lots of things have that kind of shape there, buddy. It's like, not that you brought them up only in passing, that there were the dinosaur footprints, such as in Glen Rose, Texas. Again, shout out to Carl Baugh's obsession with absolute bullshit. And the weathered prints near them, you idiots all think because they happen to look human-like are human footprints, except the scale is wrong. But of course, everyone was bigger back then. So they were all fucking Norn from Guild Wars. So yeah, that explains it nicely. Fucking idiot.
Human shoe print found by William Meister in Utah. Let's see, who's got the thing? Somebody from Utah's Geological Survey said it's not a fake. Reader's Digest, Mysteries of the Unexplained. Okay. Human shoe print with trilobite inside. There's a blow up of it. A trilobite. Here's a trilobite, Emma. This one has the tower eyes. Okay. I think they have up 10,000 lenses. One of the most complicated eyes in any animal ever.
Yeah, 10,000 lenses. The actual eye is pretty simple there. Just with a... What's the term? Just a pattern going on. We'll just put it that way to cover the quantity of lens assemblies.
And they say this is from the Cambrian, way back there.
Yeah. Complexity really means nothing in the concept y'all obsess over. But one can describe creatures from the Cambrian explosion to be pretty damn complex because virtually all of the actual forms of life, the various shapes, the various methodologies seemed to be tried during that period. It was an interesting couple of million years. And by that, I mean, I think it was like 40 or 50 million years of an explosion in phenomic biodiversity. In the way things looked, the way they were shaped, the way they did things. And yet, apparently, everything still just eventually wants to be crab. So,
600 million years ago, one of the first animals to evolve. That'd be insane.
It wasn't one of the first animals to evolve by any means. It's just, microorganisms that are clusters of cells and the like. In very simplified, tiny forms, it's a little harder to find those fossils, given that they're usually too small to see, Kent. That's why once you get to the bigger guys like these guys right here, then you get to stuff that we can actually really start to sink our science into.
To believe that. Okay. There's some pretty big trilobites. Okay. The trilobite eye is the most sophisticated eye lens ever produced by nature. Lisa, it was produced by God. Okay. The eyes of the early trilobites have never been exceeded for complexity or acuity.
Kent Hovind arguing with people's quotes from 50 fucking years ago. Also, again, notice most sophisticated eye lenses. It does not say lies. Say lies. It does not say the eyes themselves.
Stephen Gould.
And yeah, now at the end you want to bring Gould, who acknowledges his own misquotes regularly, misstatements, and it had indeed, before his passing, gone back on ideas that he brought up, such as punctuated equilibrium, something you creationist idiots love so fucking much.
There you go. There's a trilobite eye. And you guys really think this is one of the first creatures?
Wow, here's my middle finger. Look at it, Kent. Look right at it. Look right fucking at it. Here, I'm gonna take a goddamn picture of it and put it in fucking Discord. Hang on. There you go. Fuck you, Kent. If you're in my Discord, expect a picture of me giving Kent the finger right about now.
To evolve. There are lots of different kinds of trilobites, okay? Tri meaning three, trilobes, 3 parts to the body. The deep sea isopod, found in the western coastal waters of Florida, Mount Blanco Museum has 35 miles from Lubbock, Texas, has a great display of fossil trilobites. Okay. Oh, there we go. So, Emma, let me play some more of yours here. And by the way, we invited her to call in. Joseph, please put her up first if she calls.
Yeah, I think she's a little busy, Kent, doing literally anything else.
Okay.
That they all crawl out of the ground like they look when they're put together in museums. I'm very confused.
Drag it all over the wood. Come together in the museum. But they're very frequently found already in the right order, articulated. So you are simply wrong, honey. I'm sorry, can't call her honey. She gets mad. Sweetie. Sweetie, is that better? Okay. Woods or the buzzards or the ants is.
How about you stop with the creepiness and just say Emma? Or, show some respect and be like Miss Thorne, since that's the name she uses as the pseudonym online. Ladies and gentlemen, quality, top-notch, totally watchable content from Kent Hovind. No, I will not let go that time he called, AJ pointed out how unwatchable Hovind's content is, and then proceeded to say the same about AJ's content, and his stream pulled shit like this. Pre-record your shit, Kent. That would be the easier solution, and run it as a goddamn premiere. There you go, problem fucking solved.
And you keep saying it's true, as of years, that doesn't make you feel good, does it?
God damn. I've got a Commodore 64 that can generate more pixels than this.
Yeah, all you're doing is making a religious statement. That's your statement of faith. I showed you it can happen rapidly. Here, Emma, this is a young baby mammoth.
All right, let me just show random crap I happen to own. That totally proves things.
Jaw, both molars intact. Okay, that's from we got a whole bunch of mammoth stuff in our science center here in museum. Quite a few.
I know something that isn't mammoth. Oh, Kent, you and the field mice eating your grain have a lot in common, according to Cindy.
Mammoth teeth. It doesn't take millions of years. They can fossilize relatively quickly. Okay, anyway, go ahead, Emma. Excuse me here. Okay, Emma, you believe dinosaurs are related to insects and came from an amoeba, don't you? Agree with this tree of life in the textbooks, Emma? Or Mr. Nelson, who calls himself the sun god? Or any of you atheists, do you think this...
Or Kent Hovind, who calls himself a doctor?
Tree of...
He's talking about Arama again. Kent's also very fixed.
You're going to change subject, Anna? Or who?
You're the one who brought it up, you fucking idiot! What the goddamn hell, Kent? You can just go into whatever fucking rambly ass shit you want for half a fucking hour and everyone's just supposed to fucking follow it. But when you literally, out of the blue, your own damn self in your video with Maddie Powlett over there, bring up Aaron Raw and want to say your usual spiel about him, when she brings up that you said that, you want to be like, oh, you're going off on another topic. Fuck you, you fucking idiot. How does anyone watch this shit and think, oh, yeah, he's in the right? Oh, right, they're all biased fucktards.
Are you, Emma? Do you believe dinosaurs are related to insects? That's what's on the chart.
And that has nothing to do with Mr. Nelson, Hovland.
Show you. Let's see. Here we go. Dinosaurs are related to insects. Emma, do you think this should be taught to kids in public school at taxpayer expense, that dinosaurs have a common ancestor with bumblebees and moths and mosquitoes and ants? Do you think this is science?
Kent, all life is very obviously related. Get the fuck over it. You're constant bringing up your stupid little chart and making random points of this, that, and the other means fuck all to anyone who has a clue about anything. It isn't cute, it isn't funny, it isn't charming, it isn't endearing, it isn't anything you think it is, except demonstrative of how absolutely beyond childish you fucking are. Grow the fuck up, Hovland.
This is a religion.
I was about to apologize for accidentally hitting the M key while I hit the space bar, but I know none of y'all want to hear Hovland. And we didn't miss anything of value, I'm sure.
Poster. And you're welcome to your religion. I'm not, man, this is the land of the free and the home of the slave, or something like that. And you're welcome to.
Hey, Kent. I just want to ask, you're supposed to love American history. You're supposed to be proud to be an American, even though you say shit like that. How you think about Trumpy boy just destroying a third of the White House? You like that? One of my bosses at my old job shared a piece, because outside of him being a right-wing idiot at times, he's cool. So, it obviously still kind of sucks, and he's getting worse and worse by the day, but whatever. Shared a thing trying to defend that shit, and I'm just thinking, really, dude? It was the first thing I saw waking up the other day before I went to work, and I'm like, I ain't having this. Snooze for 30 fucking days. I know you'll pop back and have some other shit to have to defend Trump on, but fuck off.
Have any religion you want. But it's a religion. Quit using tax dollars to teach it to kids like it's part of science.
Oh, yes. The tax dollars that you totally pay. You always want to bring that up, Kent. It's fucking hilarious that you even dare go there. Are you gonna get your late 50s and early 60s back anytime soon, Kent? Huh? Are you? Or was the period about from 55 to 65, is that just a black hole? Had you just paid your taxes and done your money like you should have, probably wouldn't have been an issue. You might still be married. You might still have your original DAL in your house at 29 Cummings. You might still have all that and not be living as an outcast in a 140-acre gravel pit given to you by someone who's clearly only two stages less pathetic than you yourself are. Taking 9 and 10 fucking years to build fuck all. Bitching about random people online, being creepy as hell to women in the UK, and fuck all everything else that we all know about you. Like, come the fuck on, Hovland.
Let's see, here we go.
Stated on Aaron Ra, probably because Aaron Ra is one of the examples people
To defend Aaron Ra, he can call himself God if he wants. Okay, I guess that goes back to you can name your pronouns, right? Well, if they're going to honor that, make up who you think you are, why don't you guys start calling me the smartest man in the world?
That's not how pronouns work, you fucking idiot. It has been explained to you morons infinitely. But of course you're bigoted pieces of shit, so of course you don't get it. The concept behind preferred pronouns, the nuances of gender identity, and that's as far as it fucking goes. But you assholes want to think you're cute by being like, oh, I identify as a attack helicopter. It's like, yeah, Yeah, you had an identity before, too, that's actually valid. So, once again, 06452017 or 06452017 if one prefers. If and when the debate eventually happens, I will call him that. Because he wants to be a bigoted piece of shit and go about this preferred garbage. So, fuck you, Kent.
That's my pronoun. Okay, my pronoun, my long sentence. Okay.
It's not a pronoun, dumbass. You don't even understand what pronouns are. By the way, why does your god, one, have a gender, and two, why does your god have preferred pronouns? I think you'd get mad when if I called your god a she. Of course, your god is too much of a pathetic prick to be a woman. So,
Give Kent having been absolutely obliterated. That's probably why he fixates on Aaron Ross.
You missed the question. It's not about Aaron Ra. It's about, do you think dinosaurs and insects are related? Yes or no?
So much.
That everything came from an amoeba. Emma, you're the one that's believing something crazy. Please stop.
I love that shoulder shrug, like, whatever. Emma, you're the one believing something crazy. Yes, again, from the man who believes in Dirt Dude and Rib Woman.
Despise someone who believes something without evidence. Well, Mr. Dawkins, why don't you despise the evolutionists and atheists? They're the ones who believe something without evidence.
Atheism, once again, atheism is just atheism. It's just not being theistic. Atheism isn't a belief in something. There's no belief.
Belief that there is no God.
No, atheism is a rejection of theistic concepts when presented to somebody. If someone actively believes there is not a deity, that is a related but intrinsically separate point. That it's naturally going to follow that someone who does not at all actively accept the potential for there to be any deity out there would intrinsically be atheistic. That's just how that works definitionally. But no, and once again, Kent, you cannot tell other people. You are not the arbiter of the definitions of these things. And to pretend you are is yet another piece of evidence pointing towards the ridiculous bullshit, narcissistic hellscape that your mind is stuck in and thinks that everyone else must also live in. You're not the arbiter of a goddamn thing other than what happens at your shitty little sandpit.
That's what it means.
In something, we're not believing anything without evidence. That's entirely the point. Kent knows this. He knows this. He's so fucking disingenuous.
Okay, Emma just introduces a few things.
Love how this is the third F-bomb that no one has bothered to prevent happening between the previous video and this one from Emma's original video.
1.5 minutes, right about here. You, Matt, she really blasted you. That's okay.
Video. So we're going to carry on. We learned a lot about dinosaurs last time. By the way, I actually bought this before I knew I was going to do a video on Kent Hovind and talk about Dinosaur Land. I started a new cross stitch.
Now, Emma, let me ask you a question. Is there any chance in 1 trillion years that cross-stitch dinosaur could make itself?
No, Kent, because it's a cross stitch. It's a cross stitch. The thing about cross stitch is I know exactly where it came from. We have a
Again, not to interrupt Emma, but the typical creationist thing of a known artificial item being compared to something that is supposed to be natural. Thus, conflating the two, thus implying that because we know one's artificial, we know all things are artificial, means there is no natural world.
demonstrated history of cross stitch being made. We know how cross stitch works. We know how all the individual parts were created, and I can trace all of this back to the source. So it's not a very good analogy, is it, Kent?
Or is that requiring some level of intelligent input?
Everything just comes full circle, man. The universe is speaking to me. I'm a skeptic.
The universe is speaking to her. What's it saying?
This is one of Kent's favorite things to do, which is to just take a comment from me that is a joke and then cut out the bit where we laugh at the fact that it's a joke. He cut me off saying I'm a skeptic. The joke was that I'm a skeptic and I don't believe the universe can talk to me, and so I'm saying that's the joke. That's why it's.
You are not skeptical.
Yep. And Hoven's inability to understand metaphors in general. That if one even said that, unironically as just the metaphor that it is. Because some days I feel like that the whole goddamn day, and I know it's just some element related to pareidolia and other craziness in my mind. Because I'm a human, and like all humans, I'm pre-wired for some weird shit. That being one of them, that idea that there's a sentience out there. And to be like, no, that's a load of crap. I know it's a load of crap. I'm just noticing coincidences, very pleasant ones, so keep it coming, whatever is the cause, which is just random chance. One could argue it all boils down to luck. But luck doesn't exist. Well, it's a perceived phenomenon that in retrospect we notice. So, yeah.
Skeptic of evolution, Emma. When somebody says you are related to a banana and a potato and a bumblebee, you're not skeptical of that? Why not? You guys aren't skeptic. You're deep believers in your religion.
Funny. I have had a look. I did find Kent Hovind's dissertation on WikiLeaks. Somebody sent me a PDF, which is really, really helpful.
But they're stuck on that dissertation, aren't they? Joseph, that's 40 minutes. Let's take.
No, that's just something she wished to discuss in this video, where she went over you and Matt in pretty good summation, because that's the subject of the video. Boy, can't you really sure are stuck on this evolution thing. Boy, you're really stuck on Aaron Raw and Emma Thorne and Simon Dan and Professor Dave, and let's not forget our good friend AJ. You're really, really stuck on these people. It's all you ever talk about. Occasionally you bring up the Bible. Most of the time you just talk shit like this. Were I really stuck on that dissertation? Maybe again, Kent, because you based your entire branding around it. Dr. Dino.
Some questions, and tonight's open mic. And then Emma, honestly, the only reason we whack you is because we really do care for your soul. If you're wrong, you're in serious trouble. Now, you're Pascal's wager, okay? I haven't lost a thing.
Pascal's wager blows just like everything else you think. Because you're ignoring all the other theological constructs out there, up to and including variations of what you would otherwise consider your own theology. From ones that are practical anathema, like Catholicism, to even slightly different young earth creationist interpretations, more like what Karl Baugh and Ken Ham think, as opposed to your own thoughts. So Pascal's wager is in no way what you actually think it is, Kent.
A wonderful life. I mean,
the fact that you even bring it up shows how completely uneducated on anything you are. But then again, your entire methodology was cemented in you in the late 80s, early 90s, but was borrowed from Henry Morris and the like decades before that.
I still enjoyed life, okay? Well, you're in trouble. So, Pascal's wager. I have not.
Did you enjoy those 9.5 years you were in the clink, Kent? Did you enjoy getting divorced repeatedly? Do you enjoy not being able to go to certain places? Oh, no, Kent. Seems like your life has sucked for nearly 2 decades. And it wasn't much of a life beforehand beyond the typical grift and money and power that evangelical fuckwits like you get from all the gullible idiots who think you're somehow a gateway to solving their actual problems with reality.
Nothing to lose. We're trying to use science to wake you up.
Well, you're doing a terrible job of it, because the most scientific thing you've ever fucking said doesn't fucking exist. I don't know. I can't think of what would actually be the most accurate thing you've ever fucking said. You know, occasionally little tidbits of info like the moon's recession rate is roughly accurate from what you quoted at, but again, your conclusion is completely wrong. You were completely wrong on lunar tides if there were no continents. Yeah.
you want to help pay for her ticket, put it in the memo line. Now, if you want it to be a donation, if she doesn't come and we don't need to buy the ticket.
Ooh, Professor Dave uploaded a 3 fucking hour video reacting to Dr. Mike and the anti-vaxxers. That was 28 minutes ago. So when I'm done, go check that out.
You want us to keep the money anyway, designate that in the memo line. Return it if if she doesn't come, or keep it for spend for something else. So I don't take anything that, I don't want to false pretense here.
I check everything. Hovind.
Okay, Joseph, questions real quick. We're just going to go to church. Genesis Baptist Church in Lenox, Alabama. Sitting in it right now. Okay?
Kent doesn't go to church, you idiot. He is the church. Pastors and them don't go to church. That's something you need to understand, is like, they are the church. That alone should make you think about the way all of this organized religion concept, even unorganized, just this very nature of a central figure and those under them, the very structure of it, should make you think for a second. But of course, it's a legacy element from the fact that back in the day, only the clergy were taught how to read and had access to these very expensive books. Sometimes, hand-copied manuscripts and the like of the entire goddamn Bible. So the illiterate peasants certainly didn't have access to a book they couldn't even read anyway. So they needed somebody to give it to them. And of course, it'd be interpreted and distorted to meet the customs of the land and the needs of those in charge. Because that's all it is a power move intended to control people. Because that's all religion is. Post-Enlightenment, most certainly, but even beforehand, just simply a way of controlling people.
Let's see. Good evening, brother. What's the best Bible version? Absolutely King James. Okay, I covered that on video.
Why are you idiots asking them the same fucking questions all over and over and over? Don't you have a FAQ page, Kent? Can't you just direct people to that? But oh wait, Joseph putting this up gives you an opportunity to say the same shit you've already said 100 times.
Video number 7 for quite a while. You better stick with the old King James, no question. Now, what happened? 1611, they printed the King James Bible and found some printing errors and some spelling errors. There were no changes in the text. So in 1760 something,
except that we used base versions that had parts added in, so there was no change from those bases we used, but those were modifications from the actual original text. Something that Kent would go on and turn around to say that in NIV and the like, they took out passages, when no, they simply didn't include the later editions that are known later editions.
They reprinted it and fixed the printing errors, because the printer, back in those days, you got to put all the letters in there backwards on the, the letters, and hit the paper with it, and it was not the art like it was today. So go to avpublications.com for more on that. Okay, let's see. Okay. Welcome, Doc. Wish we could be sponsored to come to visit you all the way from Australia. Hope she takes it. Yeah, anybody can come from Australia. I don't know if I can pay for everybody to come here. It's already open free. I mean, that's about the best we can do. Okay. What's your opinion about dark matter? Doesn't matter. How do you know it's there?
Oh, good fucking God, Kent. Dark matter is a pretty fucking fascinating thing, and if you at all cared about science, you would be all over wondering what it is. Because it clearly, whatever particular type, it's likely baryonic. No. Is it baryonic? It interacts with the Higgs boson, with the Higgs field. So it definitely is, or contains, Higgs boson. That much we know, since dark matter is gravitationally there. Computationally, something fills that role. And the thing that gives things mass is the Higgs field, and the Higgs boson is the particle that interacts with the Higgs field. Which means that dark matter has to interact with the Higgs field, so it has to have Higgs bosons. Because you need mass to generate gravity, via the fact that for some strange reason, mass as a property distorts space-time. It's an interesting thought that if you and I were just plopped at random spots in a big empty universe, nothing else around, just you and me, billions of light years apart, you know what would eventually happen, Kent, over a long enough scale? We'd crash into each other because the gravity we'd generate, the minuscule effect our bodies would have, with there being our masses would have, with there being nothing else around, would inevitably result in an attractive force between us, which would be the only way there'd be an attractive force between us. And in this hypothetical universe where only I and only you exist, we would begin to move towards each other in a completely unavoidable process. Dark matter's pretty fucking awesome. Gravity's a pretty crazy concept. And for you to act uninterested in it shows fully how beyond apathetic you are to actual fucking science. But let's see what bullshit you have to say about it.
How do you? I think it's still. Oh, I'm skeptical of all that stuff, but I'm not going to fight it.
I don't know enough about it to be able to even say anything, so I'm just going to say I'm skeptical about it, and that's cool. You can be skeptical of material that mathematically exists. You're supposed to love math, and you can just hand wave that away. But when we're skeptical of your claims of dirt man, rib woman, 1,000-year-old people, and global flood and shit, ironically, in almost all parts, based on some mathematic aspect, if not the broader logic that again can be backed up with math, you want to poo-poo our skepticism away.
Other battles to fight. Okay. Okay. Many creatures have been found fully articulated. Heck, look at all the fully articulated people found in Pompeii. Got covered with the ash in, 70 AD or whenever that was? Yeah. Okay. I've enjoyed your ministry.
79 AD, if you gave a fuck. You historically ignorant prick.
For a long time, been very informative and helpful and helps me to instruct the young people in my church. I have a question. Are there any creation science ministries I should avoid, or all of them pretty much?
Well, John F. Dilet, you should probably avoid Kent's, but you should also probably avoid all, what's it called? All Christian ministries, but I think we're a little past that stage.
No, like Hugh Ross, he says his is a creation ministry, but he believes the earth is billions of years old and God needed billions of years to do it. He's called an old earth creationist. I debated him once on the John Ankerberg show. I'll do it again anytime. I completely disagree. Now he's a smart fella, and he does a lot of good research and finds some interesting things. And I think you could use some of his data. You got to learn early in life. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Okay. Okay. What about the tree stump I sent you from the coal mine? Oh, we got that in our museum. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, John.
Appreciate that.
I didn't want to carry it in. That thing weighs like, 100 pounds? Yeah. I didn't want to show off, Okay. If the pickle was in a...
Kent, I am certain at my current age of 40, yes, I'm old, I can lift far more than you could at the same age. I am certain I am stronger now than you have ever been in your entire life, because you doing real work, that's beneath you. Kent, did you know that in trying to get a sticky dock plate up for a equipment delivery at work, in trying to pull the steel bar up to move that mechanical fucking monstrosity, I proceeded to slam my hand when it first finally moved into both the steel dock plate and the concrete making up the side of the building, doing some damage to my ring and pointer fingers on the left hand, and incidentally scraping skin pretty bad on the middle finger on the left hand. And while it hurt like a bitch, I kept on working. or that time a gun safe fell on my foot. Blisters formed from the compressive damage, and granted, I probably should have sought medical attention just to make sure nothing was broken, but it didn't hurt that bad. I continued walking on it that included hobbling halfway across the store, helping with some other stuff. It was kind of funny, except when it hurt. I'm not bringing that up to brag, but just on a matter of I put in real fucking work for modest pay at a place that, in the end, would still just replace me if I dropped dead. And indeed, I have to go against my own better principles clocking into that place every weekday because, sadly, I am not in a state where I can idealize my social or realize my socialist principles and get paid for my creative work and for contributing to the world in esoteric ways as opposed to brute labor. I bring it all up in just the principle that I put in more for the world through just my day job than you ever have or ever will for anything practical. And I think the same goes for everyone I know, everyone in my chat. And I dare say half the people at DAL right now. So while you playfully humble brag about not being able to lift some petrified tree stump and stuff, or being able to, but didn't want to show off to everybody, I'm just going to take a moment, I guess, to be a bit of a braggart, if a bit of a stupid one. And again, not seeking medical attention for some things. And just remind you that I actually bust my ass every single day to fucking do stuff, unlike you and several other people I know.
Jar, where did the minerals come from? Well, the pickle was in a jar. The lid rusted off. It was a really old building. And as it dried out, whatever fluid it was in, pickle juice, I would guess.
Let's note that our friend Pluto Pilot had to ask via X. Likely couldn't get a word in via other methodologies since they're so ban and block happy at DAL.
I turned it to stone. I don't know where it got the minerals. Here, you tell me. I better not.
Oh, man. If only. Only the pickle had hit the pickle, am I right?
Okay. You're one of my most admired persons. Nice to see you from Myanmar. Well, yeah.
Myanmar, you fucking idiot. There's an in there, you fucking prick. Also, good fucking God, how pathetic are things in Myanmar where someone there is going to admire you? Good fucking God.
Hey, well, come visit, James, please. Okay.
Oh no, man, he's over in fucking Myanmar. That might be a little bit complicated.
A good start of creation.
Do you even know where Myanmar is, Kent? Do you know?
Ministry over there. Started Dinosaur Adventureland. That's false. I used to be an atheist. And I have talked to many others over the years. I've met many atheists who happily make the statement that there is no God anywhere.
And that's not what atheism is. Once again, if they are strong atheists in that regard, that they believe there is no deity whatsoever, no quote unquote gods as defined by whomever can be shown to be real and likely do not exist, or like me, assert wholeheartedly they simply do not exist, then that's its own thing in conjunction with the de facto thing that they'd be atheist because they obviously don't believe in any deities that are proposed to them, so they'd have to be atheist because that's kind of a requirement of the idea of rejecting all deities. Why can you not understand that X is kind of a necessary prerequisite or necessarily defined by Y? Also, bullshit on the I used to be an atheist. None of you fuckers ever used to be atheists. At most, you idiots were kind of blasé agnostic, the higher power kind of people. You were never, ever actually, definitionally atheists. I've never seen one who just hardcore goes somewhere. The only person who one can argue of all fucking people is Brett Keane, since there was actually a record of him having been atheist at a point, and then he changed his mind and became a gourd believer. And eventually, through Drunken Peasants, I learned of the manatee situation. That individual having those situations and the agoraphobia. That's it. That's the only person I've ever seen who at all can say they used to be an atheist, and from evidence, one can say, yeah, I think you were.
So what's false?
When she said that,
If Joseph had any fucking intelligence, he'd know to not put up comments like that after the fact when the context in them is long gone. But again, Joseph, this is a spot where you can improve.
atheism just means lack of belief.
Oh, yeah, okay. So her statement is false. Okay. Right?
That's all I got.
That's it. Yeah. Any others? Nobody to call in?
Yet when you have an actual reason to not be able to do that kind of stuff, it's completely understandable. Kent just doesn't want to do actual work. Even having said repeatedly, get a normal 9 to 5, that's not for me. So, a whole different world when you actually are not able to perform such work versus when you just don't want to. There's one claim the pickle turned stone in the jar. It's like, yep, but you tell me where the minerals come from. I don't know, Kent. You're the one saying that it turned stone in the jar. Because, yeah, that's another thing, is that all we have is the claim that it was found this way. We have no pedigree for that pickle. Another thing could have been found who fucking knows where.
Okay. Tomorrow night, same thing.
No, tomorrow night is you covering Strawberry Dave.
I don't know if I'm going to go Emma.
Also, it's funny that you want to call him Strawberry Dave because he brought up fuck, was it hexaploidy, octoploidy? It was something to that effect. The nature of what causes strawberries to be what they are. A weird mutated ass berry that's just now the standard for that particular genera.
Again, I'll listen to a few more of her things. And if it's something worth responding to, I'll try. Or Turbo. He thought that turtle shell. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad they cut it there. That was amusing. All right. Fucking hell. This was 2 hours. I'm tired. I want to get back to Castlevania and some shit. Also need to eat. Hey, I found my water. All right. I thought I hadn't brought this thing home from work. That's some good water. Anyway. All right. Y'all know the score. Discord links down below. Links to other stuff I do also down there. I'm going to hop off here and go enjoy the rest of my day. I may go live again later. Don't know.